All right, so you're an international student in Canada, and graduation is right around the corner. Awesome. But now comes the big question, right? How do you actually stay and start working? Well, today we're going to break down two of your most important options, the General Work Permit and the Post-Graduation Work Permit, the PGWP.
I mean, you've put in all that hard work, you've earned that degree, and now it's time to launch your career. But let's be real, the path forward can be, well, pretty confusing. Do you need a job offer right away? What even's this PGWP that everybody's talking about? Don't worry, we're going to clear all of that up for you right now.
Okay, so let's dive right in. To really get a handle on the difference between these two, we've got to start with the basics. What exactly are we talking about? Let's get our definitions straight.
So first up, we have the standard work permit. Think of this as the general permission slip for most people coming to Canada for a specific job. The really key thing to remember here is that this permit is often employer-specific, and that means exactly what it sounds like. It legally ties you to the one company that hired you.
But then you have the Post-Graduation Work Permit, the PGWP. And this one's different. It's a special kind of work permit. It's actually a huge perk that's offered specifically to international students just like you who've graduated from an eligible Canadian school, what they call a Designated Learning Institution, or DLI. And the most important word here? Open.
Okay, so now that we know what they are, let's put them head-to-head, shall we? For round one, we're talking eligibility. This is the big one. Who can actually get their hands on one of these?
And wow, this really lays out the fundamental difference perfectly, doesn't it? For a regular work permit, everything starts with the job offer. Your potential employer might even have to get something called an LMIA, a Labor Market Impact Assessment, which, in simple terms, is them proving to the government that they really need you for the job. But for the PGWP, your journey starts with your education. You don't need a job offer at all. All you need is that diploma. Now, speaking of the PGWP, if that's the route you're planning to take, this number is absolutely critical. You have exactly 180 days. That's it, about 6 months from the second you get your final marks to apply. This is a super strict, hard deadline, so you gotta get that circled on your calendar, like yesterday.
All right, time for round two. So let's say you've got your permit. Awesome. But for how long? Let's talk duration. Okay, so a standard work permit is usually linked to your job contract. Think 1 or 2 years, something like that. But it can often be renewed. The PGWP, on the other hand, is totally based on how long your study program was. And here's the best part. If your program was 2 years or longer, you can get a PGWP that's valid for a full 3 years. That is a massive runway to get your career off the ground. But, and this is a big but, remember, it's a one-time deal. It is not renewable.
And now for our final round in this head-to-head comparison. And trust me, this one is a total game changer when it comes to your career flexibility. We're talking about employer freedom.
Yeah, this is a huge distinction. Like we said, many standard work permits are employer-specific, which basically locks you into working for one company. The PGWP, though, it's an open work permit. And that means you have the freedom to work for pretty much any employer you want, in any city you want, anywhere in Canada. You can change jobs, you can explore different industries, you can even do freelance work. The Canadian job market is literally your oyster.
So, okay, why does all this matter so much? What's the big deal? Well, because for a lot of you, working in Canada isn't just about a job. It's the first step toward a much, much bigger goal, making Canada your permanent home.
You see, getting that skilled Canadian work experience is like gold when you're applying for permanent residency or PR. Both of these permits help you get it, but the PGWP is literally designed to be a bridge for graduates. The experience you get while on a PGWP puts you right at the front of the line for something called the Canadian Experience Class, which is one of the main ways people become permanent residents.
Okay, let's pull all of that together now. Time for the final scorecard, so you can see all the key differences in one quick glance.
First up, let's talk money, the cost. You can see the PGWP is a little bit more expensive, and that's basically because you're paying a bit extra for that awesome freedom of having an open permit.
And this table just lays it all out so clearly. Look at the big differences. A regular work permit usually needs a job offer and often that tricky LMIA thing we talked about. The PGWP, nope, requires neither of those. It's based completely on the fact that you studied and graduated here in Canada, and it gives you that incredible open permit for up to 3 years.
So here's the bottom line, the most crucial takeaway from all of this. A PGWP is way more than just a piece of paper. Think of it as your reward for studying in Canada. It's this wide-open door to the Canadian job market, basically handed to you because you've already proven you can succeed here. They want your talent.
So there you have it. You now know the real difference between these two paths. For most graduates, the PGWP is the clear, purpose-built next step on your Canadian journey. So the only question left is, what's next for you?